Today I'm going to share with you the idea, the concept, the strategy that's going to help your business grow like wildfire. Today I'm going to give you some tips on how to make sure that your real estate database is on lock. We're going to optimize it in a way that's going to give you a lever in your business that if you don't have it, or maybe you feel like you're in pretty good shape on your database, we're going to talk about some strategies on how to be adding folks, how to be making sure that everybody you've done business with in the past is on lock. Also, we're going to talk about a way that you can make sure that every single person you meet, you have a strategy and a plan of action in place that it's just plug and play. All right, I'm going to talk to you about 4 different types of people in your database. I'm going to talk to you from a standpoint of identifying the most critical people that you have taking care of in your database, because listen, I don't want you to get overwhelmed by the fact that maybe you're like, I'm just starting out, or I know that I've made some mistakes in the past, or my database is not complete. Where do we start? We're going to start with your past buyer clients. Let me say, this is probably the least impacted group that I know of. This is why when we talk about the fact that, you know, the National Association of Realtors says that at the time of closing, over 90% of people say that they would use the agent they used when they bought the property to list their property. However, when they actually come in and they've sold the property, somewhere in the neighborhood of around 13% is the total amount of agents that were the buyer's agents that end up being the listing agents. So what's the difference? The difference is that there was not a system in place to stay top of mind, to add value through the process while they own the home. So we're going to take those past buyers. I don't care how long it's been, how old, how many years ago it's been, and I don't even care really if you've talked to them or not. We're going to start this plan from scratch, okay? Listen, if you've got people that you've got in this system and you already are doing some things, hopefully you're going to find some things you can supplement what you're already doing. The number one thing is make sure they're receiving systematic updates on properties that are coming on the market, going under contract, or that are sold in their neighborhood. Listen, even if you don't have a CRM that's in great shape, you can do this through your MLS. We provide Boomtown for all of our agents because it has systematic plans. If you don't have a CRM, go out and find one. I promise you, the database management really needs to have some systems in place. Make sure you start with the systematically adding value by letting them know what's going on in their neighborhood and how their value is progressing. Second thing we want to do is we want to make sure that we've got them segmented in a way. We use tags on Boomtown, but if you're putting them in a CRM, somehow where you would segment groups, have it where the second way we'd identify them is property owners. Even though they're past clients, we want them as property owners. Because what we're going to do is we're going to have a system of action where at least on a monthly basis we're touching our entire database. There will be times like right now where messaging to sellers is going to be more impactful to sellers than just general market updates. Once we have them segmented with sellers, now we have an opportunity where we can shoot videos, or we can do emails, or we can add these maybe a second week every month where we would send them something that would be specific to the move in the property values. I'll give you an example. Right now we're in a place where we've seen 25% increases in our property values over about a 4-month time period. And when you've had that, now the messaging is a little bit different. If we've got them segmented in our database where we have all the property owners that way, this is what the messaging would look like. Hi, this is Jimmy Burgess with Berkshire Hathaway. Listen, I'm letting all of you know that own properties, that's why you're receiving this, that we've seen a substantial move in the property values. I just want to kind of go over the general market. Then I want to give you an opportunity that if you're curious about how much yours has moved, which you may be amazed at, that you can reach back out. I'll be glad to give you a free, no obligation update on exactly where your value is. See, that messaging is completely different than what we would do to other parts of our database that we're going to talk about in a few minutes. Third part of this that we're going to have for these past buyers that are current owners is we're going to make sure that on a monthly basis, we're giving them some information that is just nurturing. So this is not even going to be about real estate. This is where we would have a drip campaign, email, text, phone calls, where we would have it queued up that every month they're going to receive something. This would be something like 5 great restaurants for a date night. Or maybe this is something along the lines of 3 places you may not be aware that I love in our community. These are really just pieces of content that give them the ability to see who you are, where you're not just always selling, where you're not just doing this. They get to know you. They can begin to like you even more, and the trust begins to deepen as well. I want to add one more pro tip to anybody, really. What we're talking about here is your past buyers. As soon as they buy, there is a system called homebot.ai. Now, this is one of the best systems I've ever seen at giving a full updated valuation for your owners in a way that really It's almost like a stock report, gives them the asset. This is done in partnership with a lender, but what it does is they come with a full report. Just like when you receive your report, say from a Merrill Lynch on your stock portfolio, this comes once a month. It tells you how the property is moved in value. It tells you how much equity you have based on the mortgage that you received. It tells you if you were to refinance your mortgage, how much your payment would lower, or if you shortened your mortgage to 15 years versus 30 years, how much your payment would increase and how quickly you would you would actually own that property outright. This gives us a number of options, and the great thing about it is the system is set up to cue them with just a click of a button. Hey, want an updated valuation? Click here. It lets you know. Hey, curious about that? It lets you know. Anything that's going on in the homeowner's process, it gives you the ability to give them a professional report that's done automatically, because once you set it up, it does this until they shut it off. It's going to continue on a monthly basis to give them a high quality, high impact report on their property's value and things they can do to improve their financial situation in regards to their property. Last but definitely not least, what we're going to do with these past buyers, these people who own now, is we're going to cue them up that every 6 months they're going to receive an unsolicited video CMA. Now, if you're wondering about that, you can see this. We're going to have it down in the show notes if you're listening to this on the podcast, or if you're watching this on YouTube. Right above us, there's a link where you can see an example of how we did this. But basically what this is I took in the last quarter that I was selling and I sent these unsolicited. They didn't ask for them. I sent a video CMA recording my screen, going in there and giving them an update on their value. I didn't even ask them if they wanted to list their property. I just told them, hey, here's where the value is. Hope this is helpful. Keep this as a marker that in the future, if you get ready, you can come back to and you'll see how far your prices have moved. This was something I did that generated over $9 million worth of sales and $11 million worth of listings in a very short period of time, over 3 months. So I would highly recommend this. This is something that's working extremely effective now. Make sure in your database that those past people that were buyers of yours that are now homeowners, that you're queued at least every 6 months with a to-do to go out and give them an updated valuation. The second group that's critically important to have in your database are current property owners. Listen, you're seeing this. I'm starting with the people we already know, like, and trust that are current property owners that we've done business with before. Now I want to talk about anybody you know that owns properties. So think about this. This may be your neighbor. You want to have them in there if they own a house next to yours. Maybe this is in your farm area, somebody that you've talked to in the past. You want to have those owners in there. Maybe this is somebody you met at an open house that was a nosy neighbor and you know their address. This is the group of people that we want to add the value to right now, because impact-wise, these are the people that can make the most impact on your business right now. And typically in any market cycle, having listings, if you control the listings, you control the market. This is where you're going to really reap the highest harvest. So again, what we really want to do with this group, just like we did in the first group, is we want to make sure that they're tagged as property owners or home owners, whatever you use for that, so that we have them in that group where we do our messaging directly to homeowners. They get that information. Again, we want to make sure that they're set up, whether it be on the MLS, whether it be in your CRM or on your website, or in our case, Boomtown, where they're receiving property updates on anything that's coming on the market, going under contract, or that is sold like their house. By making sure they're receiving these property updates on properties like theirs, they're going to watch these only when they get ready to sell. So the impact is that we're putting a system in place that's going to continuously be in front of them, keeping us top of mind. And the second that they start thinking about selling their place, you're going to begin to understand they're going to begin to click those more often. They're going to begin to study those things. They're going to begin to know the market. So now, having that system in place, whether they're ready now or they're ready 10 months, 10 years from now, as long as you got the system set up and you're still in the business, you're going to be top of mind when the time comes. All right, so now with these homeowners that we know, that we haven't done business with, but we know own properties, friends, family, neighbors, people we've met at open houses, or that have come in and we've just found out that they might be willing to sell in the next couple of years. We've already set them up where they're receiving property information. We've already set them up where they're going to be getting some details on what's going on in the neighborhood. Now I want to talk to you. This is another group that I would layer in with the video unsolicited CMAs. Make sure you're doing that for this group also. Every 6 months, have it on a to-do. Here's the beauty of this. When you get to a point where you have, let's just use this as a round number. Let's say that you have 60 people that you know that are homeowners, either that you've done business with or that have mentioned they might consider selling in the future. This is a group where you could set it up literally where on working business days you would do one a day. the impact would be amazing if you would set it up where I'm going to do this. So let's just say it's the 2nd of the month. I'm going to use this as an example. It's May 2nd, and you're going to send that video unsolicited CMA to them. As soon as you send that out, go out 6 months, June, July, August, September, October, November 2nd, put it in your calendar. Put it to do on your database to do another updated video CMA. Once we systemize this, where when we complete one task and we set the task out 6 months, if we got 60 of them, we're doing one a day, it just continues to flow as you list them, you take them off, you bring another one in, as someone lists with someone else, because it's going to happen, or something happens and they just say, listen, we love our house, appreciate you sending that, but we really don't need it. Plug a new person in. As long as you've got 60 people, 60 homeowners that you're actively giving value to in a way that no one else is, I promise listings will be no problem. You're going to have the opportunity to take all the listings. You'll need to grow your business and provide the value to your clients. Listen, it wouldn't be good if we just left these folks out on homebot.ai. What's great about homebot.ai is it gives you the ability, once you're paying a monthly payment amount on that system, which is not that much, as I remember, again, it's somewhere between $25, $50 for the month, you can put as many people as you want in that system. So imagine this. Imagine if you knew every single person you found out that had a home, that you put them in there where they would receive this detailed report from homebot.ai on a monthly basis, giving them value. Promise it's going to keep you top of mind and it's going to generate listings. The next group to make sure that you have on lock in your database is your sphere of influence. Listen, these are people that either they may fall in some of these previous categories, that either own homes or that have talked about buying, or maybe they're going to be potential first-time home buyers at some point. They're renting now. All of these folks should be in your database. Now, here's how we can really take this to the next level. We want them in the general database. We want them as whatever, as buyer or seller or homeowner or renter, whatever you do to designate them so that you can message directly to specific groups. But this group is going to be a little more all-encompassing. So what they're going to do is they're going to receive on a monthly basis your email out on general market conditions, general market updates, blog posts if you write them, videos if you do them, whatever it is, they're going to be in your general group that's going to receive. Everybody in the database is going to receive the same thing when it comes to this once a month. And it's going to be something where you're just updating them on what's going on in the market, keeps you top of mind, even when you aren't sure exactly what it is that they may or may not do right now or in the future. Now let's get a little more specific with this group, because there are certain members of this that are renters. I'm going to use first-time homebuyers, for instance. Maybe it's a first-time homebuyer that has said, hey, listen, our lease runs out in 6 months. We'll be looking to buy at that point. Make sure you've got them in there. Start having them set up on a campaign that is going to make sure that they are getting notified every time a property comes on the market that would fit their criteria. Get them pre-qualified, pre-approved for a loan. If their price point, I'm just going to use this for example, is $250 to $350, have them set up in your MLS, in Boomtown, or in your website, whatever it is, where they're automatically receiving property updates as properties come on the market meeting that criteria. This is going to keep you top of mind. It's going to begin to give them the opportunity to begin to vision themselves in the house, and it's going to give you the opportunity to continue to see as they have activity and as they heat up coming into the time when they're ready to buy. This group is also going to receive your emails that you're doing mid-month or whenever you're doing them on nurturing. You know, we talked about with the people you've done business with before, where we were nurturing with not even real estate information on what's going on in the community. Information about blog posts you may have written, or just simply saying, hey, there's a great new restaurant in our community. If you haven't checked it out, make sure you go in there. This is where we're doing some things where we're making other businesses in the community, other amenities in the community, something of a hero, I guess you could say. We're giving value to them, maybe sharing some insight with them that they don't get. And then at the end, we're simply saying, by the way, thanks for letting me be your local resource. If I can do anything for you or your friends or family in real estate, just know I'm here if I can help in any way. It's a simple way. This is more of a general update. This is one of those that's probably going to go out to most everybody in there, but specifically to these folks that we aren't sure exactly what it is, but they're in our sphere of influence. The fourth group of people that we want to make sure we have on lock are our internet leads, or leads that have come in from open houses or wherever they've come in from. But these are really typically, especially with internet leads, you know, I mean, the best of the best is going to do 3 to 4% conversion rates here. So these are people that we're going to do high impact as far as making sure we're getting them information. Conversations we have with them are going to identify that they're looking for a specific type of property. Understand this, most of these folks are in multiple databases. So how are we going to set ourselves apart? First off, we're going to make sure we got everything on lock as best we we can so that they're getting everything they want and need. The first thing they want is property information. So again, we're going to make sure we can get the search as tight as we can. So if they are looking for a 4-bedroom house that is between $700,000 and $800,000, we want to have that as their search criteria. We don't want to send them stuff on $300,000 houses or $1,000,003 houses. We want to give them what they want and need as best we can. So make sure you've got them on a property search setup that is relevant to what they're looking for. The second thing with these internet leads is it's velocity. We want to make sure that they get to know you, because listen, if they don't know you, all you are is an information source and you're an order taker. So this is what we want to do with that group. We want to drip out to this group testimonials. We want to talk about some of the ways we've helped other people. So as we've got them segmented as internet lead, or we've got them segmented as potential buyer, we're going to tell the stories in specific content we're going to send to them. This may be just simple quotes. We provide testimonial tree for all of our agents. It gives great little quotes that you can just send at the bottom of an email, or you can send it as an impact part. Hey, I know you're out there looking for something. Just wanted to share with you 3 people that have worked with me in the past and how it went. It's better to let them make you the hero than you to try to explain how you're the hero, I guess you could say. It gives you the opportunity also to gain trust where trust is not usually found. This sets you apart from those other people that they're probably in their database and they're receiving property information. The second they can connect with you, that's the second that you begin to move them down to the trust part where you're going to get to do the business with them. Also, I would say with this group, I would say with all of the groups, more video is better. Listen, the connection where they can see you eye to eye, staring into the camera, staring into their eyes as they're watching that video, gives you the ability to really know and connect with them in a way that simple emails is just not going to do. We want to move them as quick as we can. We want to get them to know you. It's going to do a couple things with the internet leads also. It's going to act as a filter. It will take and basically say, there will be certain people that will watch this and say, that guy's has got way too much energy. That guy right there with that accent, he is not my people. And they're going to opt out. That's great, because we can't make a living on maybe. We can only make a living on yes and no. So by them opting out, that's saving us time, it's saving us effort, and it's boiling us down to the people that are like, you know what? That's my guy. That's the guy I want to do business with. And by doing that and connecting them on video, I promise this is going to help them come to a place where you're their point of contact and you're the one that they do business with. Most people don't realize that all the business you need and want to do, you already know the people. You've already made contact with the majority of those people, or they are the point of reference to refer the business to you that you want and you need to grow your business. Listen, you may have all of your people in a little note card situation. Maybe you're old school and it's just pieces of paper in a shoebox. Maybe you've got them in your database, but you don't have it set up where it's optimized to make sure you're giving them information they need to help you be the agent of choice. Whatever it is, I promise, if you'll go into your database, get it organized, put it in a systemized way that it's going to give you the ability to continuously, systematically, and on a consistent basis add value to them, your business can't help but grow. Get to your database, do the work, and I promise you're going to see growth like never before. Thanks for watching the video. I specifically chose the video below for you because it builds on the one you just watched. I hope it's helpful, and I'll talk to you soon.